right, Coach Williamson, why don't you go ahead and give us an opening statement?
One, great environment, 1,800 people here after a big football win, obviously, is great to see. And I think we're really looking forward to this match. I feel like anytime you can bring in that level, that caliber of an opponent to the SCSC, we're going to be very happy about that and embrace that opportunity. And I felt like we had a really good mindset going into the match. We started really strong in that first set. I think we were leading about halfway through, maybe 14-12. And then just kind of got away from us. They had one or two really big runs, and I felt like we kind of lost ourselves a little bit. Started strong in set two, and unfortunately, I think they made a run pretty quickly, and it deflated us at times. That's a very good team. I think from the blocking standpoint, defensively, their libero was incredible tonight. She dug everything, and I felt like there were some that we hit directly to her, but there were some that I felt like we took some really big rips on, and she was just flying around and made it really hard for us to score points in that way. And then I felt like we did a lot of good things kind of on the front end of rallies, but we had a hard time finishing the rally, whether it was the recovery aspect, whether it was our block set up defensively. We would kind of start well and then again kind of lose ourselves towards the end of the rally, but that's what good teams are going to do against you. So obviously credit to Kansas for coming in and playing a really good, clean game. I think for us, I think we could have done more, and I don't think it's the loss that, is going to frustrate us as a team. It's going to be how we lost, and I just felt like, I've kind of said it twice already, but I think we just lost ourselves for a little bit. And I think we've been really consistent with who we are and what type of team we're going to be, how we play the game. And I think that's the thing that we've got to learn about ourselves, but that's what good teams are going to do. They're going to stress you out. And, I think we learned about ourselves today.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up for questions.
Yeah, Coach, as you mentioned, it's early in the season. They're a pretty good team. Just what does that experience playing a high-level opponent like that do when it comes to conference play?
It's huge. For me, our program has always looked at playing really good competition is going to show you what you're good at, and they're also going to show you what you're not good at. And that provides a really good map for us going into this next week, really this last weekend now of non-conference play to make the adjustments, make the changes, really focus on the correct things so that we're the best team that we can be by the end of that preseason. I don't want to play a preseason where we feel like we should win every match. We want to play teams that it can be the 50-50. We want to play teams like Kansas that are that we feel like we have to play at a really, really, really high level to come away with a win. Because even from this loss, we just learned a lot about ourselves as a coaching staff. We know already some of the things that we've got to really work on, and then being able to go back and watch film, we're going to see even more. So I just feel like for us that's. We talk about kind of the points throughout the season, the checkpoints, at the end of that preseason practice schedule. And then you look at the end of the fourth weekend of preseason, and you look halfway through conference. So we're pretty close to that next big checkpoint for ourselves. And I want to make sure that we're able to look back at that time and say, we're the best team that we can be. And we're going to have that feeling because of matches like this, because we're going to know what we need to really work on.
We're all successful Coyote invite. Just what's your biggest takeaway from the weekend?
Yeah, obviously you just said overall successful weekend, and I think it's really hard because right now the loss right now is overshadowing that a little bit. But so what I said to the team afterwards is let the loss sting, let the way we lost sting a little bit. That's going to make us, I think, very intentful on Monday. It's going to make us want to come in and work really, really hard on Monday to get better. So that loss, it needs to sit for a little bit. But at the same time, we got to look big picture, and we went 2-1 this weekend, and obviously swept Green Bay, which is anytime you can sweep an opponent, it's huge. And then the reverse sweep last night with Florida Gulf Coast, who's an incredible team. Those things we got to make sure that we remember that too. We went 2-1 in a tough weekend on our home floor, and there's a lot to be proud of with that too. There's a lot of positives that we can take from last night and the night night before. And there's positives that we can take from tonight too. So really excited to be back home. We're loving being in front of our fans and being able to play in front of the students and again the people who show up consistently and maybe some new people to volleyball today after that football game. So really looking forward to being able to do that again next weekend. Being home again is going to set us up for success.
And just last one for me, how does the diversity between the 3 matches you guys played this weekend kind of help as the season goes on?
Yeah, I mean, very similar to our conference. You know, we have teams that, you know, in the end, you're going to have a top, middle, and bottom of your conference, you know, at the end of the season. So we're going to see all those teams. So being able to adjust to styles of play, being able to adjust to the pace of the sets, being able to adjust to which position is maybe their key attackers, or again, are they offensive team or are they defensive team? You know, we saw a lot of different avenues of that this weekend. So these matches, these tournaments absolutely set us up for conference, but I think being able to play different levels, different again, programs that run things differently is a big positive for us.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.